Pretty cool. It's like a spiral within a spiral, spotted by Hubble telescope. Amazing wallpaper of the day. I just kind of stared at it. I saw it on Instagram. Like, I'm going to put that on tonight. But yeah, we're doing a little layer 2 review via network lessons. We've already got folks in the chat. We got Big Abe and Bashy Mashy in the chat. Appreciate y'all hanging out. And anybody else, feel free to pipe in, or just, if you want, just lurk and enjoy. You know, we're going to do, apart from a little spanning tree, well, yeah, they help with spanning tree, but we're going to do a little L2 review, and we're going to do an upgrade of eveng. I wasn't really on Twitter much this afternoon, but I happened to catch that one of the owners and main developer of eveng actually posted in our Discord. He's like, hey guys, just to let you know, the upgrade's available. So I'm going to go and do the upgrade on stream. We'll see. There's some new features. There's some bug fixes. And I like to try to stay on top of all the latest versions of network labbing software and, you know, chime in with my, 10 cents. But, yeah, we got our coffee ready to go. Just had a little leftover coffee, so I warmed it up, and we're going to do this. So the upgrade, it looks real simple. Again, I'm on the latest version prior to today, which is 20442, and we're going to be going to 20470. This is claimed to be a major update to the professional edition. So again, this is just the professional edition, folks. I don't know when they'll be updating the community edition, but essentially, by the way, they're saying don't run app release upgrade. I will say, folks, I'm all about having the latest version of software where applicable. But I will say, for a lot of software that is based on Ubuntu, I've been using, or I have tried to use 1604 LTS, long-term support. Just because, even though, yes, there is, I don't know what happened to 17. I haven't really been on top of it. But 18 is the latest version. There's 1804, but 1604 is the most stable. When I did Netbox recently, and I'm doing some other Linux stuff now that I'm on this doing more cloud engineering and automation, and I'm helping with deploying, which my Linux background has been very helpful. I've had to brush up on a few things. But I have to say, Ubuntu 1604, when I did the Netbox, proof of concept, it also had issues if you were using 18, so I made sure to use 1604 as well. And that's what they're saying here. Like, even though there's Ubuntu, you can run it on Ubuntu. Do not upgrade Ubuntu to the latest release. So, just passing that along, emphasizing that. All right, so here's some release notes. There is not and I've not seen this really in the past either, and I'm fine with, there isn't a release document. Basically, the release notes are on the home page. So GNS3 is very similar, or GNS3, they will send you to, actually the last couple releases of GNS3, there were no release notes at all. So I'm glad to see this, especially for a major update. And as it says here, lab topology, user interface improvement, there's a new HTML5 console, which I'm excited about because that's my default console right now. You have 3 in Pro, and it may be the same in Community, I'm not sure. Actually, I think Community you get native and HTML5, and with Pro you get whatever the other one is. That one basically runs inside of a like a sandbox. But I don't really use that one. I use the HTML5. There's a new rich text editor for TextBox. I think that is when you are editing configurations. I believe that's what that means. So we'll take a look at that. New shape, line arrow, that's cool. Link customization. Capture an HTML5 iframe only. Okay, that's cool. If it goes to an iframe, all right, we'll see what that's about. I think that's good if I'm understanding what they're saying there. There's some Docker's updates supporting auto resize, hot link fix, .1x support through a cloud interface. Now that's cool. If you're studying .1x, I'm sure that would be cool. NAT bug fix, topology nodes, placement fixes. Okay, so it looks like there's a number of fixes and like new improvements and features. So let's check them out here. And it looks like it's real simple. I have to say I've only done maybe one pro upgrade, and it was super easy. So I've got my VM running here. Of course, if you're not familiar with this channel, I am primarily right now an eveng Pro user for my lab software. I do maintain GNS3 in case I need a backup. And I also like to sort of, part of this channel is about not just the CCI journey, vlogging, but I like for this channel to be about labbing software too, in general. So anyway, these are the commands. And I'm just going to put these in a text editor here. So apt auto remove. You know what I should do is a snapshot, because I have a pretty recent backup, but I did not do a backup prior to the stream. So why don't we do that first? Of course, I'm using VMware Fusion on the Mac, and it's been working great so far. Let's take a snapshot. What version is this? This is... yeah, prior to this upgrade. Okay. And let's boot it up. I have to say, folks, I am beat up today, like from the gym. Work has been very intense as well, but it's been enjoyable. It's been awesome. I'm loving what I'm doing, working with automation. We've been working with some PowerShell, some JSON templates for both Azure and Ansible. And I've been doing some Linux stuff, networking stuff. So it's been pretty exciting. It's a pretty exciting time right now. But I am beat up. Like I am. I'm gonna sleep very well tonight. Just put it that way, which is good. All right, so let me move some of this stuff over so I can. Let's move this to this desktop. Just make that easy. All right, so we're going to say apt auto remove. Apt update. Let's see, apt release upgrade. Yeah, that's the command to upgrade the actual release of Ubuntu, and that's the command we're not going to use. I'm glad they put that there, because previously when I had like a Ubuntu or a Fedora, when I was using Yum, when I was using that as my primary boot operating system, I did this all the time. Like before I upgraded anything, I would typically do an apt, back then it was apt-get upgrade or an apt release upgrade, like as soon as they came out with a new version. So some people might just do that. My fingers would do that. I wouldn't even think it. My fingers would do it. So I'm glad they put that there. All right, then we're going to do, let's see, we did, yeah, apt upgrade. Oh, okay. That's a good bit of information. Hopefully that won't affect the stream too bad, doing a download. I'll be watching the stats here. Many of you may know I do not have like a super awesome connection to the internet. So I'm using Spectrum, formerly Bright House. And that is one of two options I have in my area. Well, I say two. That could probably do satellite, right? But, yeah. So, anyway, it's what we have. All right, so while that is running, I didn't really think about that, the upgrade. I probably should have done this part first, earlier this afternoon. 63%, okay, Linux image generic, all right. We'll check on that in a minute. We'll continue on with our agenda here. I did want to talk about the new cookbook. So I noticed that this cookbook is awesome. Like, I think prior to this latest release, what is it? 2.04. Prior to like version 2, one of the major releases of 2. Notice there's 2 editors now. I think there was only 1 previously. I could be wrong there. But this is really well done. Like, it's detailed. I don't know what changes were made to the cookbook, but this is definitely like a new version of the cookbook. At least from what I could tell, there are things in here that I've not seen before. But this thing is now, like, look how long this is. 197 pages. But, I mean, I love it. Like, I was just looking through this section here earlier. Images for Eve. And, you know, I was thinking about the other day, I wanted to do a switching lab where I have a Cisco switch and a non-Cisco switch in my environment. And I know there's ways to do that. Like, I know there's Open vSwitch and some other ways to do that. But I just wanted to see here, okay, what images are like supported here in the documentation for Eve. And there are a lot here. So they have, of course, IOL, Dynamips, CSR 1000 feet, Denali and Everest, Cisco Cloud Service Router, Cisco ACS, ASAV, XRV, XRV 9000, Firepower, Viral, WSA, which that's cool, that you can actually lab a WSA proxy here in Eve, ESA, ICE, Prime Infrastructure, WAS, WLC. That's pretty cool. A VWLC. I didn't even know there was such a thing. Oh, I think I did know that. Cisco Nexus NX9K, Juniper, VSRX, SRXNG, Juniper VMX, Arista, Nokia, Alcatel, Aruba, Checkpoint, Citrix NetScaler. That's cool. Extreme XOS, F5 Big IP, of course. That's where I come from, is a lot of Big IP work. Fortinet, Microtik Cloud, Palo Alto, PFSense, Firewall, Riverbed, Steelhead, and then VMware, vCenter. That's cool. You can actually, that's cool. Vios Viata. And you could create your own Linux host image. Linux Ostinato, NetTim. Create your own Windows host on the Eve. Same procedure. And you do and add a custom image template. So there's so much documentation in here. And I have to say, I have referred to this a couple times as I've been learning Eve Pro. Oh man, issue, what is this? Default is keep your current version. All right, what is it asking me here? Etsy issue. What do you want to do about it? Install the package maintainers version. Start a shell to examine the situation. Default situation is to keep your current version. I'm going to do the default. I'm glad I saw that. I didn't want to just let it sit there for a long time waiting for a prompt. So anyway, yeah, I guess that would be one thing would be nice, folks, if you're listening, Eve, Redfish, or whoever, is to maybe have revisions. You do? Big Abe, I think this is a Walmart special, to be honest. I like the clear glasses. Like, I like to see. Mine looks really cloudy because on keto, you don't use regular creamer. I gotta have creamer, but I use what's called the heavy whipping cream. So it's very low in carbs and very high in fat. Yeah, man. Ting. We'll do to good coffee and good bits. Yeah, so I would just like to know, I guess, like, I need to stop saying like. And this is going on to the little side as well, folks. Have you all noticed that you say like a lot more than you used to? I know I do. And if you've ever watched anyone on YouTube these days that is under, say, 25, count the number of times they say like in like 5 minutes. There, I did it again. Anyway, it would be nice to see what is different, like what are the revisions to the cookbook. Would be cool. So yeah, wait, this is going well. This won't take too long, folks. One thing I want to lab also is there was a tweet, someone had tweeted about that they were kind of comparing differences with DTP, which is deep. You know, that's going pretty deep down a hole, which is cool. I think it's good. And I'd forgotten all about this command, show DTP interface. So whenever Eve gets upgraded, I'm going to run this, and I want to kind of see what was in that tweet. That was cool. That's why I'm in Twitter. Twitter's where a lot of action is happening in it's like the de facto social network for network engineers, right? Some people rely heavily on Reddit. There's LinkedIn is a big one, but Twitter is still where I learned the most like new things about what's going on in the world of networking. All right, so that's still going. While that is going, I'm going to just review this vlog info as we have time. So I'm working on layer 2 still, and I've been thinking that I have 53 days to go. Let me bring up networklessons.com so y'all can see where I'm at. And all right, so my intent of going through network lessons was to cover gaps. I recognized from my last written exam that there were a number of gaps in here that I needed to cover, and I wanted to just go methodically through this entire course. And I didn't really think the course would take me 2 months, that I could fly through some of this, but I have to say, I've spent a lot of time in Spanning Tree. More than I ever thought I would. But my approach has been, look, I'm going to go through the lesson, but if I hit the lesson and something is just not making perfect sense to me, then I'm going to lab it, or I'm going to dig into it, or, you know, in a lot of these, for example, Renee does have where he is labbing it, so you don't have to. And he'll have configurations, he'll have a video, he'll have Wireshark captures. But even then, some of the things I felt like, well, I need to lab this a little bit myself just to get it to sink in. So I have been doing that, and it's been taking more time, and I need to come back and regroup a little bit because this is still a lot to cover. Like tonight, I'll go through these, and my goal is to get to multicast, layer 2 multicast, and IGMP this weekend. I want to cover this weekend. IGMP versions 1, 2, 3 snooping, IGMP snooping without a multicast router, in other words, on a switch. IGMP filter, multicast boundary filtering, multicast IGMP proxy, especially down here. This is going to be very important. Like I will say, in one exam, you know, I had a lot more of this than the other, but that just means I need to cover this thoroughly because I need to be prepared to answer questions about this definitely on the next exam. So again, what's left in layer 2 is HTLC and PPP. I actually went over this already, and I did, I think, a couple of labs or vlogs about PPP, so I skipped around a little bit, but I really want to get through layer 2 because layer 3, of course, there's a lot to cover here. I probably should say that in the 53 days I have left, let me think about this, how many units I have. So we got RIP, ERGPOS, we have BGP, ISIS, that is a lot. VPN technologies, and I need to spend a lot of time here. Yeah, so I don't know, folks. I mean, it's 53 days. I'm going to have to speed it up. Is basically what needs to happen. Like I spent valuable time, but a lot of time in layer 2. So I'm going to have to really pick up the pace. Now, if I get to 50 days and decide, you know what, I'm not ready, I'll just reschedule for, you know, another 30 days down the road. But I will say, if I got tested on spanning tree today or tomorrow, I feel a lot more prepared. Like just for example, with spanning tree with bpdus. Like I had misunderstood. I did not have the correct understanding about how bpdus were even being handled by spanning tree protocol 802.1d. Like the fact that really what a switch is doing is doing a relay. You know, like one of the big differences between spanning tree protocol and rapid spanning tree protocol is that spanning tree protocol, the switch, the non-root switch is relaying the bpdu from the root. It's not really modifying the bpdu. It's just relaying it. When it receives it, it relays it to each designated port. So when it arrives on the root port, if that takes 2 seconds, if that takes 5 seconds, it just waits until it gets the next bpdu, and then when it does, it relays it. Whereas in rapid spanning tree protocol, once there is an agreement on what the root switch is and what that root switch bpdu is, then a non-root switch is just going to, every hello time, every 2 seconds, it's going to generate. So instead of relaying, it still receives, of course, bpdus, but it's going to generate every 2 seconds. It's like pulsing to all the designated ports. Just things like that, little details like that, make all the difference in a written exam. So yeah, it has been a good review. Now, now more than ever before, I feel like I have a really good understanding of uplink fast and backbone fast. Before I read through it, I pretty much understood it. But I labbed those this time, and I've labbed them before, but this time I just really spent a little more time. And now, watching the packet captures, watching the frames, now I have a really good idea of how those features work. And I feel like if I get any questions on those features, then I'm just going to nail it. So I feel pretty good about that. Even multiple spanning tree. Like, I spent part of 3 days on that to where I felt like, okay, I understand this. And so if I get any questions on that as well, I feel like, that's not going to be a problem. So anyway, I just want to kind of review that. It's helpful to me to review it over the stream. But I am going to try to pick this up for sure. Pick up the pace. Because I do really want to try to meet that 53 day. I don't want to reschedule again if I don't have to. I want to get back to labbing. Like, I'm watching Show IP Interface Brief and Jack, and they're labbing at night, and they're working on like these big, the INE full lab. I want to be right there in the mix with those guys. So I'll catch up. Don't worry, folks. I'll catch up. So the other thing I'll be reviewing tonight is a little bit in regards to loopguard and unidirectional link detection. So again, this was another instance on networklessons.com where the lesson itself was really good, but the forums where people were asking questions, asking for clarification and use cases and things like that, the feedback there was excellent. And I think I'm going to do a quiz on that. Yeah, this is on bpduguard and filter, but I may do another quiz on that going down the road. But I'd actually have a couple links here related to udld. What I did find out is that, of course, unidirectional link detection is a proprietary Cisco protocol, right? But there is an RFC on udld. I did not read the RFC. I was just surprised. Remember, of course, with an RFC, there can be an informational RFC. It does not mean it's a standard, right? It's not really a standard until it's approved as a standard. Cisco did at least create an informational, which is great. Yeah, this RFC is not a candidate for any level of internet standard, so they make that clear. Show is here, present for duty. Checking in with my parole officer, sir. Excellent, sir. Have you? Do you have your job log? I need to see your job log and a signature by your supervisor. Good to see you, Show. Good to have you, man. I've been keeping up with your labs. I look forward to the next big lab. Looks like you're going to be tackling another big lab this weekend. So I swear I've applied. That reminds me, isn't there a movie about that? Well, I know there was a Seinfeld episode about that, which was hilarious. He'd applied for, it wasn't parole, but it was unemployment. And the unemployment officer called, and they told them, troubleshooting number 3. Troubleshooting number 3. It's going to be fun. Cool, man. That's awesome. Next time you're doing one and I tune in, which will probably be, Saturday, is I'm going to actually pull up the lab this time. So yeah, we're just talking about udld, Vanderlei Industries, yes. Oh, man. He told everyone to, call Jerry. Oh, it's Sunday. Okay. Yeah, Sunday. Sweet. He told everyone, hey, if every time you answer the phone, pretend like you're Vanderlei Industries and then I'm working here. Great episode. But yeah, udld. So I had never really looked at a udld packet capture. And this is what I'm trying to do as I'm going through this network lessons, all these network lessons. If Renee has a packet capture in there, then I'm fine. He has it where you can view it on CloudShark, or you can download it, which is cool. They're both links. So I'll just look at that, right? Or if it's not there, I'm pretty much insisting that I want to see a pcap of every protocol that is covered in these lessons. Every protocol that I'm studying for the CCIE written, I want to see a packet capture. I want to see it, right? And so far, I've been able to do that. Thanks to Peter Pollock. There was only one that, you know, it was not in networklessons.com. There was not an example. I did a Google search. It was not on wireshark.org. It was not on packetlife.net. It was not in, I just couldn't find a Google search at all. So then using my third method of obtaining a packet capture is to lab it myself. And there was only one, and that was the dummy multicast Ethernet frames, which I will never forget what it's called. Until I forget how to put my pants on, right? In that case, I may not remember, okay? But in that case, I reached out to the internet, please, Twitterverse, and Peter Pollock answered, and now, thanks to him and the time he took, myself and the rest of the world has a copy of that packet capture. So I had never seen udld, although I've actually implemented this before on a particular, there have been some, you know, number of different implementations where there was some, you know, long haul fiber and there were issues. So obviously, you know, udld is very good in that case to use. But I had never seen a Wireshark. So I have one. There's actually a link here. By the way, there was a Wireshark update, wasn't there? Yeah, because I recently got prompted on my Windows computer, I think. Let me check this real quick while I'm thinking about it, folks. About Wireshark. Is it here? You can check for upgrade. Usually it will prompt you. I saw on Twitter where someone had an issue where they lost some of their customization. All right, we'll just go to downloads. Stable release is 2.6.3. I try to stay on top of the software, folks, on what is... Oh, okay, I'm at 2.6.0. So we might be upgrading Wireshark on stream too here. All right. 2.6.3. Where are the release notes? You can also download the latest development release and documentation. Oh, here's release notes. Okay. 2.6.3. Here we go. Man, I'm 3 versions behind. All right, so there's some vulnerabilities, some bug fixes, no new features, no new protocol support, updated protocol support, pcap ng, new and updated capture interface support, Cisco dump, UDP dump. Okay, so yeah, I need to upgrade. I'm going to download. I think I may have been prompted and ignored it. I don't know. Anyway, this is a udld capture, and I believe this came from packetlife.net. And as you can see here, so a couple things to note about udld is, first of all, udld, unidirectional link detection, is basically about monitoring the state of the link. So it's not a spanning tree protocol feature per se. It does help you avoid spanning tree loops. And causing problems with spanning tree crashing, you know. And one of the way that does that is just prevents, you know, if there's a fiber link, for example, and when you enable UDLD in global mode, what that does on a switch is that will automatically enable UDLD for any interfaces that are of type fiber, right? Because that's the most common. Now, I'm trying to think if there are any other potential. There are other potential causes of unidirectional link failures, but generally it's not due to hardware. For example, you can actually replicate UDLD failure in the lab, and that's what is done in networklessons.com by just how did he do that? All right, I gotta look now to try to remember. This will be good to jog my memory too. Yeah, as a matter of fact, for both loopguard and UDLD, there are ways to replicate this in a lab, even in, you know, a virtual lab like this. So the way this was done is, yeah, there was a single lesson for both UDLD and loopguard. Okay, so I forgot about this, but the way this was done in the lab is to replicate this was to basically create an access list, a port access list, a PACL, and to filter all packets or frames destined for this address. 0100C, CC, CC, CC. So this is a UDLD, and when you send a UDLD frame, or you enable the feature, it's going to send using this Ethernet multicast address, which of course is Cisco proprietary, right? So the way Renee did it is he just filtered it outbound on one side, not the other, and essentially that would emulate a UDLD failure. And so if you want to test it in the lab, you can do it that way. But this is what these frames look like when they're sent, and it's basically like a ping across the interface. So if I'm sending them and I'm not receiving them, I've got a one-way problem, right? Unidirectional issue. And depending on which configuration you use, it can either just alert an administrator, send a trap or a syslog, or it can actually shut the interface down, which is generally the recommended option. So on here, what I wanted to demonstrate too, and this is brought out on packetlife.net, if you look at the statistics, this is pretty cool because it will show you kind of how this bursts in the beginning. Which one was this? Was it IOgraph? Yeah. So just if you notice this traffic pattern, there's a lot more traffic in the beginning when the session, you know, when the UDLD is first turned on, and then it tends to taper off to a stable traffic flow pattern here, which is cool. But yeah, as you can see here too, this is coming from the source. So by monitoring this interface, you see both sides sending the UDLD frames. And it's interesting. So UDLD address is shared with CDP, VTP, DTP, PAGP, which is the Cisco proprietary. And in the information here, I think there's just, what information do they have? Device name, length, data. sequence number, length. I don't think a lot of this is really important. It serves. Yeah, I think this is just, you know, filler. There's the device ID. There is a port ID. Sent through interface. There's a checksum. Opcode echo. I think that's... Oh, there's probe and echo. Okay. I don't know what the difference is. I wonder if that's kind of like what BFD does, where it does echo mode. Let's see, probe. UDLD sends periodical hello packets, also called advertisements, or probe, on every active interface to keep each device informed about its neighbors. When a hello message is received, it is cached and kept in memory at most for a defined time interval called hold time or time to live, after which the cache entry is considered stale and is aged out. Then there's echo. The echoing mechanism is the base of UDLD's detection algorithm. Whenever a UDLD device learns about a new neighbor or receives a resynchronization request from out-of-sync neighbor, it starts a detection process on its side of the connection and sends in echo messages in reply. That's what it was doing. Yeah, it sent the probe first, then it sent a series of echo messages, and then it reverted back to, once the neighborship is established, to just regular probe frames. Yep. Looks like there's some other message types too. Reserved, probe, echo, flush, reserved future use. Okay. Cool stuff. So yeah, that's what I've been working on. Also, loopguard, which is actually monitoring bpdus. So with loopguard, it's the same scenario, right? Where you have an interface, and I think it is... Yeah, you can enable it globally. So when you enable it globally on non-root switches, when you stop receiving bpdus on a non-designated port, then it assumes that there's a loop. And the way to emulate this in a lab is to use a bpdu filter. And this is specific to spanning tree, right? All right, so let's go. While we're waiting on this to finish, folks, hopefully we can finish it on the stream. I'm going to go ahead and do the trivia question. So yesterday's trivia question was, what happens when you enable bpduguard and bpdufilter on the same interface? And you receive a bpdu on that interface. What happens? This is a question asked in the network lessons in the forums. And it was funny because Renee didn't really know the answer right offhand, so he labbed it and then shared the results in the forums. But essentially, I think this is the logic, but bpdu filter is considered a less restrictive. So what happens is if bpdu filter feature is honored first. So depending on how you have bpdufilter configured, it will either just log, and now I'm trying to think. So bpduguard can log, or it can shut down the interface, right? bpdufilter can do the same, but generally it will just ignore. By default, it's just going to ignore. When you have it enabled at the interface level, it's just going to ignore the bpdus. Yeah, sorry. So at the interface level, it will just ignore. At the global level, if you have configured bpdu for port fast ports, when a port fast enable port receives a bpdu frame, it will lose its port fast status. Although we did see last night in a lab that on this latest version of the image, it will actually consider the port inconsistent and put the port in the inconsistent state. So it doesn't necessarily error disable, but bpduguard will. And that's generally how it's configured. Is if I receive a bpdu on this frame on this port, I'm going to error disable and shut down the port. So if you have both of those configured, bpdufilter wins. So the bpduguard feature will be ignored, in favor of the bpdufilter. That is the answer to that question. At least that's how it was labbed. I don't know which versions he labbed that on, but that was the result. All right, trivia question for tomorrow. What are the TCP small servers? And you may know about these. There's a command on iOS routers related to TCP small servers. Can you name them? I can name right now off the top of my head. I can name 2 of them. I don't think I have the third. So anyway, that is what we'll ask about tomorrow. Sorry, not tomorrow. Saturday. So Saturday I'll be streaming, and tonight it looks like we're still on progress 79%. So this is taking a little while, folks. Let's see, it is on package live. Yeah. The progress bar is... Uh-oh. What do we got here? This looks different. Maybe it's unpacking? Okay, this looks promising, so we'll see. I'm going to, in the meantime, get ready to lab this DTP interface. Actually, I probably can't. Yeah, I'll just wait, see if this finishes it. This is a udld pcap in CloudShark. Yep. Download done. Removing outdated cache downloads. Okay, that's good. Preparing to... Unpacking. Okay. All right, so I think we're close. I'm going to pull up a picture of, I think it was on LinkedIn, where some of the new features were posted. Oh yeah, here we go. So Lynn has a posted a release on LinkedIn. I'm going to look at his page and just see previous posts. Okay, here we go. Capture inside an HTML5 console. I thought it was going to pull up here. One moment, folks. I'll pull this up. Okay, so it looks like... Okay, does this mean that it opens... So this is the HTML5 console. When you do a Wireshark capture, previously it would open in your browser. It looks like there's a separate window that this can run in. That's cool. I like that. What are the other... Let's see, I think he had some other media here. Oh yeah, okay. So this is showing the UI features. Setting up. Okay, this is going... All right, we're getting close, folks. And the UI features are new shape, line arrow, link customization. Okay, yeah, so these are links. Like, I guess when you drag, so on a router, when you drag a connection to another router, it generally will put the... So it's a different... You can change the colors. Looks like you can change the font. And then you can create your own lines. You can drop text. I don't know if you could do that before or not. But that looks pretty cool. So this lab has... Oh, we've got these different boxes here. That's cool. Client supervision. Okay. What else? Preview number 5. Wow, he's got a number of previews out here. All right, link style. LinkedIn, don't do that to me. All right, so link style added: solid, dashed, straight, Bezier, flowchart, machine state. I like the Bezier lines. Okay, let's see. Using Chrome in full screen. Okay, this has got a little more description to it. Using Chrome in full screen with nice HTML5 window to capture node name and interface on the title bar. That looks like HTML5 desktop. Oh, that's this host, supervision. Oh, this is better. All right, so before you were capturing, when you do a packet capture, it would just create a regular Chrome tab, and it was hard to tell sometimes which device that capture belonged to. I don't know if any of you noticed that, but this creates a nice window here, and it's telling you the host name and the interface. That's cool. Very nice improvement. I like that. And it's interesting, these are some cool looking little windows. So you could go Chrome full screen in your lab, and these are going to kick off in their own little window. Okay, I like that. Let's see how we're doing here. Zero upgraded, zero newly installed, 67 not upgraded. Okay, it looks like it's doing something. I'm not sure what. Still 79%. Okay, so this is another feature. What is this Mac window? Oh, these are remote desktops. Working on new RDP libraries for nice results. Text VNC RDP console in HTML5. Oh, nice. Okay. Resize supported on the fly. So he has a lab here with several different types of hosts. And you can RDP to those hosts. I guess you right click or double click. And it goes into these resizable HTML5 windows. That's cool. I haven't really worked with any additional host types. I know a lot of people have. Okay, it's still running. That's good. Okay, let's look at some other. That was 3 weeks ago. Okay, windows appear inside the topology. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I like that because, first of all, in your topology window before, let's say I only had 2 routers. If I wanted to make this window smaller so that I could get this and some terminal windows on the screen, you'd go to you'd minimize this topology window to a certain size, and it would say window size too small, cannot display. So this looks very promising. Okay, I like that. I wonder if we can change our colors of our terminal windows. That would be nice, especially for people watching the stream. Okay, other features. Let's see here. Okay, this is the editor integration. And, oh, I see this bar right here. So this gives you... Okay, cool. Oh, nice. So you can make a lot of different edits to your text. I mean, you could really make this look prettier. Man, this might even be easier to use than Visio. VPCS hosts. All right. Yeah, nice. Very nice. What else? Okay, those are the main ones advertised. All right, it looks like it's working on containers right now. Successfully tagged Eve GUI server as the latest. Are we getting close to the end? Okay, we're deleting those keys. Checking if update is needed. Guacamole is good. Checking if update is needed. So Even G Pro. Okay, here we go. Well, it looks like all the dependencies are taken care of. Our progress bar moved. Yay. It went from 79% to 88%. You know what? I should go ahead and run the Wireshark update. '94, '96. Read me first. Okay, so we just 99%. And we're done. Yay. All right. Apt upgrade. Apt install eveng Pro. And reboot Eve. Okay. Rebooting. All right. I need to rename my virtual machine now. Nice. Okay, so it should be running now. Let's open it up here in Chrome. Two dot 0.4-42. All right, it's still kind of loading. Give it a second. Still on 1604.5 LTS. Oh, I'm supposed to clear my cache. That's right. It did say clear your browser cache. I just want to clear the cache. Man, this is not as easy as it used to be. Cached images and files. That's what I want. Okay. Done. There we go. 20470 Pro. Yeah, man. Admin, Eve, HTML5 console. Here it is, folks. Nice. This is the lab I was working on yesterday. Let's close it. And open. What was I going to lab today? We're going to lab show DTP interface. So let's just bring up switching. SP optional features. That looks harmless. And it looks a little cleaner here. Very subtle, but let me change my lines. Edit style. Solid or dash, straight or Bezier. Flowchart? What is a flowchart line? Let's do dashed. Oh, nice. I get the color picker. I like it. Let's do Bezier. Yeah, I'll check it out. Flowchart. Oh, that's what flowchart is. It's state machine. I like state machine. Yeah, I like it. It's nice. Can I edit multiple lines? Probably just one at a time, huh? Let's do purple, and let's do flowchart. I like the flowchart. Oh, I have to save. Okay. Edit style. There you have it, folks. If you want to make a real pretty lab, now you can do it. Bezier. I like Bezier. Wavy gravy. Nice. Okay, so now I want to see these fancy new windows. Oh, rich text editor for a text box. Okay, so that's if I add text. Oh, yeah, nice. So if I double click on that, styles, font. Okay, I don't have all my, this is not my operating system fonts. Of course, this is running all the fonts that are installed on this virtual machine, right? Comic Sans, everyone's favorite font. Not. Okay, that's kind of fun. All right. What else? New shape, line, arrow. Add an object, line. Oh, okay. Bezier, yep. Wait a second. I didn't know it was gonna put a line there. How do I delete that? Oh, that's cool. You can lock your lab. All right, you can make a line, you just can't delete it. Oh, there we go. Oh, width 5, single arrow, double arrows. Save. Where did the line go? Oh, there it is. Okay. Not sure. Oh, I got you. You have to select it like that. Not sure what I can do with it. Like, I can see that it wants me to be able to change the size, but can't really... Can't delete it either, I don't think. All right, and the other feature is packet capture. So let's take a look at our... Ooh, yeah, nice window. Okay, I like it, because if you go full screen, now you can resize, you can fit all this on the... I think you can resize. Yeah. Okay, I'm liking this so far. What is that? Hide console, change opacity? Well, I like playing with opacity now. You can select the corners, but they don't really let you. You have to grab each side and move each side, I guess. There we go. Looks like you may have to actually grab the bottom and the right side. Okay, so we were gonna do show interface. So let's see on GI00. Let's capture some packets, some DTP packets. Okay, inside a window. Gotcha. Yeah, I kind of like this because this. Is this also the case where you can only resize on the right and on the bottom? Okay, what are we capturing here? Okay, I need to bring this to the front. There we go. Show run interface GI00. Let's put it in trunk mode. Switch port trunk incap .1q switch port mode. Oops. Interface GI00 switch port trunk incap .1q switch port mode trunk. And I'm not seeing any packets yet, any frames yet. Uh-oh. Show interface GI00. It is up. 108 packets output. Yeah, not getting any packets though in Wireshark. Let's go to switch 1. Do show run interface GI00. Switch port mode, switch port trunk incap .1q switch port mode trunk. No shut? Well, no, they're not shut down. Interface VLAN 1, IP address 2.168.1.1. No shut. Okay, another thing is, I don't know about this. So in order to switch windows, I can't use Control Tab. And I have to click on the, I can't click in the window. I have to click on the title bar to switch. I don't know if I like that. Oh, I can switch this way too. Is there a key? Are there keystrokes I can use to switch? So let's do interface VLAN 1, IP address 192.168.1.2. Okay, I've got pings, but I am still not getting any captures. Let's try this again. There we go. All right. Cool. Okay, this I can drag the corner. Is it just the bottom that you can drag the corner? Okay, yeah, if you the bottom right, only the bottom right. Okay, but I do like this, especially if you go full screen. Oh yeah, this is cool. I like this. This is actually going to be good for the stream, because everything is contained here in this one window. Nice. All right, so let's do our... I'm so used to being able to click inside the window, though. I can get used to it, but I like it the old way. Maybe that's a limitation. Let's do show DTP every 30 seconds. That is 300 seconds. 8 interfaces using DTP. Show DTP interface GI00. Yeah, there's a lot of information here. I'm going to screen cap that. Who's doing DHCP? DHCP Discover? Who is that? Switch 3? Oh, maybe I'll get... Yeah, that's right. I have DHCP on here, I think. So DTP interface, we've got TOS, TAS, TNS, whatever that is. TOT, TAT, TNT. Neighbor address 1, neighbor address 2, hello timer expiration. Negotiation timer expiration, multi-drop timer expiration, FSM state. Number of times multi and trunk enabled in spanning tree protocol. Statistics, 19 packets received, 19 good. Wow, there's a lot. TLV, TAS, TAT, TOT. 13 software and cap ISL, 21 native, 1 link up, last link up. All right, yeah, a lot of information there. See, I'm so used to clicking inside the window. That's going to get annoying quick. Cool. Well, that's it, folks. Cool. I have to say the upgrade, the in-place upgrade went well. If you've watched any of my videos in the past, you've seen me attempt in-place upgrades and a viral of GNS3, even of Eve, and it's not always pretty. This went really well. Hey, Big Abe, yeah, I have to say I like it. I really do. I like that they're adding new features. Again, I would imagine that some of these features, since HTML5 console is part of the community edition, that I would imagine that these features would at some point be added to the community edition. But it is pretty slick, I have to say. So thank you, Eve folks. Thank you, Redfish, for letting me know about it in the Discord channel and giving me a heads up. And I have to say, so far I like it. There are some UI things I need to get used to, but I do like the being able to go full screen and see all your windows. I think that's, and I like the HTML5. I just like the HTML5 stuff, to be honest. I'm not sure about the arrows are cool. To be honest, I don't really do much. I don't spend much time editing my topology. Like, I don't really care too much how it looks. It's not for presentation, but for people that do, I'm sure those feature set, like the Bezier lines, is pretty sexy. I gotta be honest. Especially once you stretch things out, and yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that. We got some sexy lines, and I like the, what is this called? I'm not sure where this name came from. What is this name called again? That's another issue. Like, I clicked to edit, and it's underneath everything, but I can't see everything. Double arrow dash flowchart. Yeah, I like the flowchart style too. That actually works better than like what it does in Visio, to be honest. So I can delete this text, but I cannot delete. Yeah, I can delete the arrow. Okay. Oh, that's add new object. I can delete it. Sweet. Yeah, it's just getting a little used to. I have to say the UI though looks very clean. Very clean. Like these little console boxes. And I would imagine if you do an RDP like to a Windows host and you put it in one of these little RDP clean HTML5 windows, that is slick. Job well done. Job well done, folks. I like it. It's very smooth too. Like moving these around, it's pretty amazing when you think about it that this is like an instantiation of Wireshark running, capturing live on a virtual machine. And I've got it loaded in Chrome in this little HTML5, what is it called? iframe. Yeah. That is pretty slick. So it's growing on me, for sure. Great work, eveng team. Appreciate the upgrade, and thanks again for allowing me to trial the eveng Pro. Would not be able to do this on the stream without, of course, I probably would have purchased it. now that I've been able to use it, I like it. So thanks a lot, folks. I think we're gonna wrap it up there. It went on about what, hour 15 minutes to do the full upgrade, more or less. So not bad, pretty seamless. Thanks again, folks, for tuning in. I appreciate all the support, folks. It's Thursday night. Tomorrow's Friday. Plan your weekend. Get ready to do some labbing and some studying, hitting the books, doing some lessons, reading, whatever it is you're doing to get that cert. Let's hit it. And if you're on the streams, if Big A or Show or anybody else, Bashy, if you get on there, I've got notifications on. I'll be watching in Discord. I'll be tuning in as well, checking in and seeing how things are going on your streams, on your videos. Love seeing all the content that's coming out with the community. It's just flowers and rainbows. I love it. So thanks, folks, for tuning in. Always appreciate the support. Hit that follow button if you're not following us yet here on Twitch. And, of course, if you got an Amazon Prime and a Twitch Prime account laying around you're not using yet this month, you can hit that subscribe button and support the channel. Also, you can follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, GitHub. And we shall see you tomorrow, everyone. Sending everyone good bits. And we'll see you tomorrow here on the land, or Saturday, sorry. Tomorrow's my night off. See you Saturday here on the Land Tamer stream.